Hi everyone, welcome back to Conversations with the Good News Couple. We're back again, and today we have something very interesting for you guys. So, today we're going to share with you a brief background on our journey from our engagement to when we said I do.
I do. Yes.
So it's quite interesting today because you're going to get a feel of who the Good News Couple is and how we arrived here. So I'll let the man who said, "Will you marry me?" give you a brief story of what he did.
Yeah. Hi guys. She just putting me on the spotlight. How did we come about saying I do? Well, we're gonna take it from our engagement. I'm gonna say, to be honest, our engagement was just a private session. It wasn't all that. And I believe till today, people don't know that we actually got engaged. Because I think some people just saw her wearing a ring, but they didn't know, is this a promise ring? Is this what? So I'll just give a brief, be brief about how that went about. She was just fresh out of varsity, just graduated, and she was living in a backyard, a back house of a lady somewhere in, what is it, Broadhurst. Yeah, it was Broadhurst.
It was a little bachelor pad.
Yeah, it was a little
seven squatter sort
yeah,
of.
a seven squatter. It was a seven squatter, and Mogele was just enrolled in, was it an intern or probation?
Internship,
it was internship. Yeah. But I had pure intentions, and I wanted to take the relationship to the next level. I was very, very serious. So I bought everything, the ring and everything, without her knowledge. And then one good day, I just rocked up at her place. She had just knocked off. Don't look at me like you don't visit your people. I visited my person, I passed by. And which was just the two of us. I went down on my knees and told her all the lovey-dovey stuff, all the lovey-dovey stuff, and she just melted. And when she was just melting, I took off the ring. We were two, but that's how I remember the drama.
Dramatic.
Yeah, it was dramatic. So I took off the ring, put it on her finger. She said yes. She was just emotional, we were just happy.
As usual.
Yeah, she's very sensitive. So it was just emotional, and it was a private session. But the interesting part was that we were very serious. That's why I think I kept it private, because I really wanted to marry this girl, I really wanted to marry this girl. And after she said I do, I sat her down and said, babe, now that I've put this ring on your finger, I want you to go and tell your parents about it. And what I'm gonna do also, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna tell my parents. And I'm gonna tell my parents, you tell your parents what just went down, so that when it goes public or whatever, in actual fact, it wasn't about what people were gonna say. It was about doing the right thing, according to me. I know you guys have your way of doing things, of saying how your engagement should be, when is the right time to be engaged, and how long should we wait or whatever. But after we said I do, she went home. Well, I went home. Let me give an account of how of how my side went. She'll tell you her side of the story. I went home, just got engaged, called my mom to the side. I broke down the news to her. One thing I can tell you guys, that my mom wasn't amused at all.
Yeah.
She wasn't amused by the news. It was like her world just came crashing down on her, and I could see her reaction. I think she stood and she kept quiet for some minutes. And then after that, she was like, okay, I'll pass the news on to your dad. Dad wasn't available. So she's like, okay, I'll pass the news to your dad. It was awkward. It was awkward, really. But yeah, it was awkward. And then it just went like that. And then she told my dad, and then my dad, we had a family meeting. Yeah, the family meeting, the biggest family meeting you ever had, you ever have. So they asked me, I heard your mom say you want to get married, who's the girl, what is happening, and all that serious questions. And parents are always, we always think that they are being hard on us, but in actual fact they just want to see how serious you are, or how determined you are, or are you really, really sure about what you are talking about. I think the most interesting part, I think my mom, guys, I'm going to tell you the honest truth. I think my mom never knew that I was dating at all. She never knew that side of me of dating, because I never brought girls home, or I was never out partying, something to bring suspicion or whatever, you see. So I think she was just, it was a bummer to her to say, like, Sam, like my son,
Betrayal,
that moment, like, my son is really, he said he won't get married. Does he even know what dating is? Does he know what a girl is? Is he pressured? What is,
Yeah.
I remember.
The issue was, so it's am I pregnant, or am I pressuring him into marrying me?
Yeah. That was my mom. We laugh about these things now because we are calling everything as a family. So the question was like, what is this Melinda girl done to you?
Yeah.
Does she have something against you? Did she tell you that if you don't get married to her, she'll leave you or whatever? And then that question comes, are you pregnant? Just tell us the truth if you're pregnant, and then we'll see what to do about it. But it wasn't about all that. They gave me time. They said, go back, think about it, and come back to us again. So I think they gave me, was it a month or some weeks or whatever, and then they called a meeting again. They thought maybe my confession would have changed. They called me again and said, okay, I'm here. But I still stuck to my story. I want to marry this girl. So yeah, until they finally gave in after a while. It wasn't just an easy road. My parents, I want to get married, so okay, let us go to Melinda's place. Oh, this is Melinda. No, I think it took a while. It really took a while, and it took a while and a lot of prayer. But so let us hear from her account. I just told you my account from the engagement. Now her going to her parents.
Okay, I appreciated the engagement because he took me by surprise, and it was a beautiful private moment. So now the challenging part now is actually coming out of the house, and everybody can sing a bling bling on your finger, and they're wondering, okay, what happened? But like he said, the important thing was to first get a blessing from our parents before anybody else can know. So I went home, and I must tell you, my family set up before we can even get into anything. So the way it is at home, my dad is he's from Mauritius, so he looks Indian, like a dark Indian, So how those, how they are strict. We know them to be strict, those kind of people. So I grew up in a strict family, and my dad didn't allow me to do quite a number of things growing up, like going out with friends and, meeting up with friends, having ice cream, all of that. I was more of the indoor type of girl. I was a homebody. So I don't think my mom and my dad were ready for the news I was bringing them, because like he said, I was fresh out of varsity, and what they were expecting was that I'm going to get a job and acquire and, become the Melinda that they had, thought of in their mind before I could actually bring a man and say, So it was really a shock sort of to them. And it took some time. Like my parents, you tell them something and they'll go quiet on you. They'll go quiet on you. I think they just go back and talk about it as husband and wife. Like, is your daughter crazy? I think they had that moment alone. But then they got back to me and they said, we want to meet this person you're talking about. Let's meet him. I'm happy one thing, they did not dismiss me and say, no, you can't get married, or we don't want this person, or are you crazy, you're too young. Okay, I did have some of those comments come in that you're too young, don't you think you have to wait, are you sure you know what you're doing, you know, marriage can be difficult, you know, all of that. But I stood my ground like he did. I also stood my ground, and I think we also usually spoke about it a lot, to say you have to stand your ground no matter what comes by. You need to stand your ground so they can see how serious you are. So eventually we they invited him over for dinner.
Yes. Was
it dinner or lunch?
I think it was lunch. They invited me for lunch. The most awkward lunch I've ever had. You know, Melinda's dad is the serious face type of man. You know, you wouldn't know what to say. And then again, he's from Mauritius. You know, the mom is a Motswana, the dad is a Mauritian. So throughout the whole lunch, I had to speak English, guys.
Oh my gosh.
You know, I had to speak English because you are here, you're trying to impress a man. You know, it's the first time they see me, you know. It was a lot. It was a lot. And then you have to speak English. Like from point A to point B, you can chip in maybe a Setswana word or whatever,
you know.
And then there's that awkward silence where it goes like silent, and then you guys are eating,
have to.
And then a drink comes, and then ice cream comes, you know, just making conversation. But yeah, we pulled that through, and yeah, it went well. The lunch went well, and I think from that point on, that is when now. After, you know, that battle with my parents and everything, but after they agreed, I think it was a hallelujah moment for us when my parents called me. It was just a normal day. My mom called me and said, okay, I think it's time that we went over to Melinda's place to meet Melinda's parents. You know, it was a hallelujah moment. You know, throughout the back and forth here, talking to her parents, me talking to my parents, trying to establish if this wedding will go through. We're also calling each other. What are they saying that side? You know, this side, they're being a little tough, you know. What are they saying? Are you winning that side? Am I winning that side? So it was quite a beautiful moment when we look back on it, and it was filled with prayer because it's all about prayer. It's all about prayer, you know. Yeah, it is all about prayer. So when my parents finally called me, I was just busy around, you know, trying to get my things in order and everything. But just a normal day running around, and then they called me and said, I think next weekend we are going over to Melinda's place. I stopped wherever I was. I stopped and then I just screamed. I just, you know, I was just shouting hallelujahs. I was just happy because it had dragged. It had dragged. We didn't just get there, like I told you, we didn't just get there and then our parents just, okay, cool, let us go over to the place. It has dragged. So when they called me, it was a moment of breakthrough, and it was a moment of relief, of happiness, you know. Finally, they went to their place. I wasn't there. Melinda was there. They met the parents. They talked as parents, you know. Just that... Introduction. So they went there, they greeted each other. Oh, we are Sam's parents, you are Melinda's parents. They were just married. She can give an account of what happened because she was there. I was not there, you see. But it just went well. So ever since then, after they met, that is when everything was set. That is when everything was on the roll. That is when now marriage talks as you know them, they began. And then that is how we are here. We are here now. So I think that is how it went with us. And it has been a beautiful journey because we were youngsters and you were youngsters, and our parents were, you know, right now we laugh, we look back on it, and we are happy with our parents, you know. We look back at these stories. I think you know how African parents are. They won't actually go back and say, but we're just happy with them, and they're happy with us, you know. The wedding went well. We had the wedding of our dreams, you know, what we wanted, and and I think that from then on, what I would actually say about benefit of getting married young or marrying young is that we've seen growth. You know, we've seen growth, and it's about, I think the first point, I'll just go into it and say it's about building together. You know, it gave us a room for us to build together because we were just starting life together. We didn't accumulate on our individuals alone. I didn't come with bulky stuff, she didn't come with bulky stuff. So whatever we were doing, it was just, let me say, from scratch, you know. And I think what has really enlighten us on that concerning relationship and young marriage is that there's no sense of entitlement. There's no sense of entitlement in a sense of when I win, she wins. When she wins, I win. You know, our gains, we gain together, we lose together. We learn together. You know, we make mistakes together, whether it's financially, whether it's maritally. You know, one thing I remember when we were when we got married with Melinda, or when things were just shaky, or we were just having difficulties here and there, I looked at her and said, babe, you've never been married. I've never been married. So if we hit a bumpy road and you come to me and tell me that this marriage thing is not working, I'm gonna ask you, where have you seen me ever gotten married? You know, I think that is one thing that has really kept us going. That has really kept us, that this is an experience. We are in another experience. We are going, you know, it's new. We are new to it, and we are both learning. So there is no point of me pointing a finger at her and say, this marriage thing is not working out. Or there's no point of her pointing a finger to me and say, this marriage thing is not working out. And when we hit rock bottom, we go back to the drawing table and say, where have we gone wrong? Because we talk about these things. And one thing again, our communication, it's very important. It's just up there. It's just up there, you know.
Communication is important. I think those are some of the things we'll get into in another video. Some of the most important pointers in a relationship that you could develop.
And then also about, you know, she's my best friend, man. She's my best friend. And
he has me in my feels today. Like, guys, I tell you, today was just awesome. He had lunch prepared for me. He's been taking care of the little one. I've just been relaxing, and then today he's just, no, guys, I feel special today.
You know, another thing I think it's about friendship. You know, you get to experience friendship on another level. You know, there's a certain level of knowing each other that goes by when you are young and you're together, you know. So we've experienced that, and it's been awesome. You know, I get to know who she really is, and she has seen me while we are young, while we are still building. She has seen me at my lowest. I have seen her at lowest. She has seen me when I'm frustrated. You know, she has seen me when I'm heavy, you know, when I'm under pressure. You know, you get to outgrow those things, because as years gone by, as we are growing older right now, you know, as we are having more kids, as we are,
my God.
Too soon. As we are having a kid, let me just say that. As we are having a kid now, and then as we are trying to accumulate other things, you know, we are trying to build a bigger thing here. You know, it's a journey, and I think that's just that.
It's beautiful growing together, guys. Like he's saying, we became the best of friends because we got to know each other. We got to understand each other. That's important. You need to understand your partner in and out, guys. But then it's not to say that I know him 100%. Every day I'm learning something about him. So yeah, like he said, I think one thing that I could just point out there is that that I love about growing young, marrying young, is that I got to serve God with him from a very tender age. We both gave our lives to Christ, and we accepted the Lord, actually. And then we started living our purpose from a young age, guys. It's so beautiful when you serve God with your partner. It's so, like, there's no conflict in which church you're going to, which church he's going to. There's that unity, there's that there's that glue, it's that glue that keeps us together, really. So it's been beautiful growing spiritually together. He's seen my lows spiritually. He's held my hand from the mud, lifted me up, taught me principles spiritually. He's really been a mentor to me. He's been that priest in our household.
I'm honored, guys.
He's held us down like level 5,000. He's been there for us spiritually. So I've learned a lot. He's seen me grow. I've also seen him grow into his calling, and now manifesting and seeing what God is doing through him has humbled me a lot. So just that growth spiritually, it's beautiful, guys. You can't trade it for anything. I tell you can't trade it for anything.
And I think she's telling the truth, guys, because we've seen each other grow from this little girl and little boy to a young woman and a young man, to a man and a woman. That's just that transition for us. I think it's what when you look back, these are the kind of memories that when you go forward, you look back where you're coming from and you say like, but we have a beautiful thing and we are going forward, and we're just we're just there for each other. That commitment level now, it has gone to another level, because you can get into a relationship but not knowing that you're actually afraid of commitment. Like she said, it's not my words, guys, it's her testimony. She said, I'm not putting words into her mouth. The man and the woman came out, and here we are. But I believe that that is what we want to share. And then I think that on other, as we go forward on other conversations, we're gonna touch a lot. We're talking about communication. She talked about serving God together, But one thing you need to know as ministers, I know most people just know us as Melinda and Sam, that couple.
Facebook
but
couple.
When it comes to, by the grace of God, called into ministry, you know that. But one thing people don't know is that Melinda was serving somewhere as a minister, and I was serving somewhere as a minister. So when we came together, God, God is God, guys. He has his way of doing things. So, but those are the topics that we'll talk about
as we go on.
Those we'll touch on those, serving together, purpose, uplifting each other, combining.
Guys, we have a lot of content that is just top notch.
How do you balance each other's out purpose, and living together well. So that was it.
For today. We don't want to spill all the beans. We just want to keep you informed, but also suspense in the thing. So I think from us, that's it today. We just want to thank all those who have subscribed so far. Welcome to the family, guys. I want to encourage those who are watching, new followers, please click like, subscribe and share, and also hit that notification bell so that you become a part of the notification bell when a video comes up. You're the first to know. And from us, the Busangs, we love you guys. Thank you.
Peace.
Bye.